Hello, everyone. This is your Love and Finance Tarot Guidance for the month of February 2023. If you are joining us this month, I hope you enjoy this reading. It is available monthly as part of a subscription package through your choice of my website, Patreon, or YouTube. My subscription videos are much longer in length than my daily ones and may include all long-range guidance which I see in the cards. Our month of love begins with Venus already having taken up residence in its sign of exaltation back on January 26th. Venus, planet of love and money, wanting to bring you all things beautiful, will be in Pisces until February 20th. This is what sets the tone for the month of February as it begins, and the icing on the cake is having 0 retrograde planets. A full moon, 16 degrees Leo, happens on the 5th. Do not schedule anything of importance for this full moon, which will require your focus and commitment. Patience will be in short supply, and moodiness with rapid mood swings will be prevalent. Do not attempt to force another to conform to a certain way of being, or you will likely have a rebellion on your hands. Mercury leaves Capricorn, where it spent its retrograde, for the sign of Aquarius, and remains there February 11th through March the 2nd. Breakthrough ideas, including those involving technological advances, are possible. The Sun winds down its astrological year, spending from February 18th through March 20th in Pisces. This is a sensitive, caring transit. However, it might not prove to be a very productive one. A new moon, 1 degrees Pisces, occurs February 20th. New beginnings are possible here, but probably in the most unconventional of ways. Something tells me you will need to listen to the new moon tarot guidance for this one. Less than an hour after the new moon, Venus leaves warm, sensitive Pisces, making Aries its home from February 20th through March 16th. You could feel much more daring during this transit as the universe prods you to go after what you want. Aspects kick off the month of February with a sextile between the Aquarius Sun and Chiron in Aries. The Sun has a way of putting you in the spotlight, and with such a positive aspect, the view others have of you, and even yours of yourself, tends to be quite favorable. With Chiron involved, wounds are easier in this case to face head-on and to heal. Confidence is always key to attaining success, and this can be a winning combination for you if you let it and you are ready to step up and take charge. On the 2nd, Venus, happy to be in Pisces, will sextile the North Node in Taurus. It is possible to see improvement in the quality of relationships and also money matters. Venus attracts beauty and bling, so while you might not hit the lottery, you can still step up your game. The 3rd brings a square with the Sun and Uranus. When life needs change, Uranus has a way of shaking things up. Events can be unpredictable, and everyone's behavior can be erratic. There is no form of predictive science available here, as routines might not work, and circumstances can suddenly change, coming out of left field and perhaps blindsiding you. The best way to handle energy like this is to not be resistant to it. Be as flexible as possible and know any changes which come as a result of unforeseen events will be in your best interest. The change will probably not occur at this time, but a situation which brings it about is surely something you will not want to ignore. On the 4th, Venus squares Mars. Relationships can be fraught with sexual tension now. There tends to be a buildup of anger, frustration, and resentment, resulting in ego clashes, spoken words which cannot be taken back, and extremely impulsive, aggressive behavior. A good relationship can manage to survive this transit, and increased sexual activity is more likely. Those on shaky ground can see tempers flare and hateful attitudes It is not the best time to try to work things out in your relationships. Mercury will sextile Neptune February 6th. Allow your words to be ones of healing now. Kindness, compassion, and spirituality rule the day, and the social nature of this transit will make for some pleasant interactions. However, this is not the time for facts and figures, critical thinking, or signing on the dotted line. Creative pursuits can excel under this influence, and those such as fantasy artists and writers will be especially creative. Intuition peaks with this aspect, and it is important to be paying attention to your dreams. Your most effective communication will be that which is designed to help and be of assistance to others. There is a sextile between Venus and Uranus on the 8th. The shyest of the shy can come out of their shell, and everyone has more of a tendency to be lighthearted, spontaneous, and fun-seeking. To what lengths will you go to gain attention? This is a great time to meet new people, but do not expect in most instances for any love type of relationship to be a long-lasting one. Finances are favored, and even though this is not a Jupiter transit, Uranus can unexpectedly send money your way, so playing the lottery, etc., could possibly work. Mercury conjuncts Pluto on the 10th. This is a rather probing energy, giving you the opportunity to dive below the surface of any issue, delving deeper for the truth, instead of relying on superficial appearances. It is a time for uncovering secrets, and just as there are those who seek to get to the bottom of things and discover the truth, there are those who choose to deceive. Should you be someone who is easily led astray, guard yourself during this aspect so as not to fall prey to addictive behaviors of all types. Taking the time for self-discovery is important as well. On the 11th, Mars will sextile Chiron. Facing past wounds in order to heal them can feel a bit daunting. However, Mars provides the courage and the assertiveness to look your problems straight in the eye and to take affirmative action to do something about them. Venus forms a conjunction with Neptune February 15th. This transit is probably the one which gave birth to the phrase, "I'm a lover, not a fighter." Creativity, intuition, compassion, and kindness all run high now. And being such a gentle energy, it might even have a ripple effect. Romance can flourish, but the potential for productivity can be rather low, as daydreams can overtake the day. The only way this could be detrimental in one's love life is the ability of these two to amp up the tint of your rose-colored glasses, causing you to turn a blind eye to everything which is wrong in a relationship. Currently, Neptune is in home sign of Pisces until January of 2026, and Pisces is Venus's sign of exaltation, meaning the potential for all of this becomes even more so. Mercury will square the North Node on the 16th. This is the perfect time to put your mind to work for you, utilizing your intellect and preparing to launch new things or to take on new directions. Should you feel not everyone is on board with your plans and decisions, go find people who are supportive of your endeavors. Think of this as one of those moments which could make you or break you, being totally dependent on your attitude toward the situation. Remain positive and go for it. Also on the 16th, the Sun will conjunct Saturn. This transit can be a bit of a double-edged sword. The Sun can assist you in facing life's difficult tasks, which are courtesy of Saturn. In doing so, you can overcome any roadblocks you have been facing, and even though it does not appear to be totally easy, you can tackle your issues and sources of frustration like a champ. Often, when Saturn is involved, the tasks at hand can prove to be saddening, a little glum even, but you can be ever so proud of yourself and your accomplishments now. as you handle these responsibilities and remove once stressful situations out of your way, clearing your path for new and better things. This will put you in a position to truly pursue your goals at last. 17th, there will be a sextile with Mercury and Jupiter. This is Mercury at its finest, working for you to improve the quality of your love life. It is a very social transit, and you can benefit greatly from associations made at this time. Jupiter will see to that. Normally, I would be warning not to sign any important papers, but it is favored, even though Jupiter is more focused on the big picture. Your thinking should be clearer, and with Jupiter's expansive properties, you will be more easily able to see what is best for you. Hold conversations about your future, make plans, and set things into motion. Venus sextiles Pluto on the 19th. Affairs, whether sexual or of the heart, can find their roots in a transit such as this one. Venus is passionate, while Pluto can be secretive, and even if not an affair, one might have a personal reason for not going public. For example, a celebrity tired of being under constant scrutiny. A sexting love can change and become more intense as desire demands what you have be more meaningful. Not all are seeking love, and it is those who will benefit from good friendships, companions, and associations. It is possible to be bitten by the love bug, even to the point where someone becomes your obsession. On the 20th, Mercury sextiles Chiron. This aspect can be put to its best use by bringing great minds together to work on solutions, whether it is within a think tank or brainstorming within your group of family, friends, or associates. While Chiron is the healer, Mercury is the thinker and communicator, showing that this is a time where great ideas can be conveyed to bring about said healing. Also look for the possibility of attention to siblings at this time. Mercury squares Uranus February 21st. When these two face off, things do not always go according to plan. It would be wise to postpone important conversations or document signing and preparation in case of distractions. Doing so can really help to avoid any undue stress. When Uranus throws something at you out of left field, your reaction is 99% of it, for you can choose to go with the flow and to maintain flexibility. Remember, Mercury is thought communication, so the people you meet tend to be in your life for a short period of time, but what they bring to you could provide new insights and a powerful impact on your journey. Keep a pen and paper handy, as this type of transit can bring flashes of inspiration and ideas which show up out of nowhere. Important breakthroughs can happen, so you will want to keep track of your thoughts, no matter how outlandish they seem at the time. Mercury will then trine Mars on the 22nd. Your neurotransmitters will be working overtime. When this powerful tool gets together to accelerate thought processes and bolster communication, you will speak more confidently and effectively, being greater able to relay your thoughts to all. Rather than decisions being labeled as hasty or indecisive, you will know what it is you want to do and should do, and you will do it. On the 24th, the Pisces Sun sextiles the North Node. There are times when you require a little help and support along the way, and this is one of them. What you need, you shall have, in the form of the right people being there to assist in ways which will help you achieve your next move. You can benefit from this transit in difficult situations. This is a good time to create the path you desire, rising above any issues which you are facing. What I am going to say to you right now might not make sense to you today, but by the end of next month, the end of March, it most certainly will. And that is because the way I keep getting these, flashes in my head about the month of February. February is all about what precipitates the month of March. And March is going to be a huge turning point for everyone. All right? But the events that are happening this month, and they will vary, okay? They will vary. There's some really wonderful moments, and there's also some moments which are going to put you at crossroads and push you and prod you to do something about whatever this has been that has been, bothering you for so long. And I know every single one of you has something. But now looking at the cards, do see all of the gentle, loving influences that come with Venus being in Pisces. It's sign of exaltation through February the 20th. All right, so the influence that Venus is having over February, which is our month of love with Valentine's Day and everything, it really does bring out a softer, more sensitive, gentle, caring side. It's a little bit daydreamy. It's all here. What I'm looking at in the cards. It's just, and then as we get to February 20th, at that point, the sun is then in Pisces, all right? And we have the Pisces new moon. So even though this is Aquarius season as the month begins, the Pisces influence is going to be one of the stronger ones, which is felt. Not necessarily great for productivity, but perhaps reinstilling in you the possibility of your hopes and dreams. Something which you may have forgotten along the way. Whatever your story is, all right? And like I said, each of you has one. I feel that something is infinitely better by April. Perhaps not totally resolved, but, putting you in a position where, I think you're starting to look at everything this month. There are no retrograde planets. And Mercury is leaving a shadow on February 7th. So come February 8th, you're in a really good position, to look over those things that have required your, not just your undivided attention, but, a really good focus where Mercury can be distracting and confuse the details. So I'm going to say after the full moon, the Leo full moon, it's like you're starting to venture down that new path toward where you want to be. And something around the time of I'm going to say around the time of the Pisces new moon, all right, as you still have Venus in Pisces. Something special's going on there. For such a short month, there's a great deal of energy that you need to deal with, all right, because things develop much more rapidly. And, like I said, everything, all the planets are going forward. There's just a lot of information which is coming your way. And, one of the reasons I think that the part, I don't even want to get into it about next month. I think that's why I'm getting tongue-tied. But we'll talk more about it then. I think you will feel much more in charge by late March. So, just keep at it. Just really keep at it. And not to be overly impulsive, all right? Because this is about your power, reclaiming your power. And here again, I don't know that everyone or even anyone finds 100% resolution, because after all, who is problem free? But it's getting it all worked out and restoring some of the balance in your life. You're finally in a position where you can negotiate on your own behalf, and you have to figure out what it is you want to have happen, all right? If you don't know and you're willing to live in, that rut that you've created for yourself, well, then you're just going to stay in that rut. February could start off feeling a little in your face, okay? It is what it is. Also, one of those months where I feel that every time, you feel like you came up to the same brick wall again, you're finding an antidote. We'll call it an antidote. Something which, provides you a workaround, a way around that brick wall, a way over that brick wall, or even right through. Because finally the timing is better and you're up for the challenge. We're just going to leave Valentine's Day be for all the lovers because honestly, with that Venus-Neptune conjunction happening the day after, let me tell you, it will be felt a couple days before. So I think for many people, not saying everyone, but for many people, if you're in a good committed relationship, you might actually have a rather romantic experience that is enjoyable, not one that just feels like that forced Valentine's Day stuff. I am not going to say that the second half of February becomes easier, all right? But it is a month which is pretty much cut in half, all right? You're reminded at the beginning of February how things are going and what needs your attention. But when you get to, the second half, I feel like the universe is starting to line you up, to put you in position to really do what is necessary, all right? Perhaps it's taken you a while to get there, but I think finally you're being steered in the right direction to take the proper path. Still see patience up until the Leo full moon, all right? I don't think it would be advisable to, make any reckless, spontaneous moves when it comes to your goals, all right? Because you have to sort through all of the options. You need the clarity. And, you've waited this long. Why not give it until February the 8th when Mercury is out of shadow and you can start to see things much more clearly? Really taking charge of what you intend to manifest. Dealing with I want to call it the fallout, all right, what is no longer, that type of thing. As a matter of fact, I want to say around the 8th, if you think you have it all figured out, there's no telling what might show up, all right? Just be open to the possibilities. As you're getting into the second half of February and going up to even into the first couple days of March, all right, there is something special which is going on. Like the universe is working overtime to change things around for you, whether it brings, the right people, the right situations. You could start to feel. See, it's harder to explain what I see here in the sense that it may not all happen in a moment, but by the time you get to the end of March, in retrospect, you're going to see how things have been turning and beginning to, maybe shift a little in your favor, giving you what you need. See, everything's there, but you haven't been able to access it, to put it into play in order to take back your power. And I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying there's something about April, about this period of 9 months, something that began back in August, all right? So April, May, something's going on here, all right? Just saying, I don't want to get way ahead with this because I feel like what happens right now, March is breaking down those barriers and starting to release all that pain. You gotta, sometimes with life, it's almost like that feng shui where you have to get the whatever is cluttering up the energy in your life out of there, and remove it. Remove yourself from it if it's toxic or whatever. So something's coming around the time of the Pisces new moon, all right? And I think it's putting you into position. So from that point forward, from let's say the 20th, something is where you should almost be looking at March and see the road ahead, see the direction. I'd say perhaps, within the week before the new moon, there's some form of good news that's coming your way. Doesn't mean you get an email or a phone call or whatever, but however it comes to you, it helps you to to figure things out, to assess where you stand so that you can actually, because there's an ending in here that needs to happen. Something needs to stop. You need to be able to just close the door on it and to have a really powerful new beginning. And I almost want to say that it's around the time of the next new moon, all right? Which is, I think, March 21st at 0 degrees Aries. You can't get any more new moony than that, right? The beginning of the beginning. Something special's happening here. You just can't see it in February. My. I'm telling you. It's like finally, tweaking that plan and getting everything together. Being able to sit down, and if you have to draw diagrams and whatever to get it going, you need to put into place some very stable practices. March is bringing a great deal of change, okay? So you're going to be watching all this unfold in the coming weeks. But what happens in February is very key as to what happens in March. And when that new astrological year begins, you might very well be saying, I made it, right? No one saw me. I'm going to just sneak in the back door. All you really want, just like anyone else, is to be happy. And you probably are, but you feel like you've been cheated out of part of the happiness that you think would be normal to have, all right? And it's there. It's coming. It's on its way. Now, what I see here in the month of February is the need to just kind of go with the flow, not to ignore any one part of life. Just keep managing, because the energy really starts moving. Things are fluctuating. I think that's a good word for February. Fluctuating February, right? Perhaps that's what we should call it, because it's going to, every few days even, present you with these new crossroads, new decisions to make. Which way should I go? What should I do? Where will my victory be? And it is coming. I hesitate to tell you when, because as you're entering February, and mind you, things improved by the end of January, but it doesn't mean you're not without doubt or worry and thinking, I'm not so sure I believe in the universe anymore, all right? This has not been easy. Life's been at a standstill for most of January and pretty much feeling powerless for months. Sometimes you feel like you're along for the ride, that kind of thing. You just do what you got to do every day, lather, rinse, repeat, all that, but never feeling as though there's much to celebrate, and more like you're trying to fight your way out of a paper bag kind of thing. But I do see improvement, which is coming. And I still say next month you're going to start to see the difference. I don't want to get too involved in what's going on, because next month is a very powerful one, and I highly recommend listening to next month's Love and Finance, because without it you might feel totally lost. But February does still give you plenty of opportunity to, reminisce, to enjoy the softer side of things. And I feel like there is a sense of, I don't want to call it knowing here, but sometimes life runs the gamut, okay? And we have experiences. They can go from rags to riches. You see a reversal of how things are going. And with this month kind of being, it's not really split in half, because I think it's a major improvement over most months that you've had recently, all right? But I think in the second half is where you start to feel like you're not just maybe gaining some traction, but some insight into what it is that you need to do and where you're going, all right? So getting from, here to there, from what was lacking to what will bring you the security that you need. That Pisces new moon, all right? There's more clarity coming after that. There really, truly is. I think of the two moons this month, you will find that the Leo full moon It's going to be kind of difficult, but that the new moon will definitely benefit you, because it's almost like you're being backed into a corner. All right, if you think February is just like you're green lighted and you just run straight ahead, probably not. All right, you're not going to be able to sidestep the issues. They're still coming back, they're still there, and they need to be dealt with. All right, it's kind of like, the obstacle course. You have to complete it in order to get to the finish line or whatever. However, in this case, there is no finish line, because it all just keeps on going. Overall, with this reading, what I feel from it is, if you behave in a responsible manner, and it's very important to show the universe this month that you have learned the lessons that it's been trying to teach you for the past 3.5 years. All right, because all that's about shift, and how you move forward is going to say a great deal as to what you've learned and the practices you've put into place. So while I cannot be there for you day in and day out to help you deal with energy and how you might react, there is that overall, it's almost like a blanket is how I feel, where the emotion and the sensitivity are prevalent for everyone, and yet there is clarity. Okay, but you need to be careful. You need to ask yourself what you're doing, why you're doing it, because everyone's in breakout mode, and to what length are you willing to go to break out. So this month is kind of like a steer you in the right direction kind of month. And I would say by the end of February, you are seeing kind of like where you're headed in March. And by the end of March, you are seeing where there actually was a major turn in how things are going for you. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here. I hope, if you've never had an opportunity to listen to this before, that you enjoyed it. And you can find these readings every month on my website, tarotbycecilia.com, on YouTube by joining my channel, and also on the Patreon app. Again, take care, and thank you.